Hey guys, welcome back to the show. My name's Max. My channel's name is The Covered Caller, and I love to analyze these high yield funds. Jackson, what do you want? Come here. I got you. Jackson, if you want this, you have to come over here. Come here. All right. There you go, Jackson. All right, guys. My niche is the analysis of high yield option based funds primarily, but any type of income fund. It's kind of a niche. I know it. That's why there's not very many of you guys, but it is just the right number. I wouldn't trade you guys for all the money in the world. I wouldn't want to have 1 million subscribers. It'd be too much trouble. I'm happy with the 4,000 or 5,000 I got right now. Speaking of them, hey Marcus, how you doing, bud? All right, now remember, anything I say here today is not financial advice. Consult a professional financial planner. And then also, don't forget, you can always, of course, you can always like and subscribe, right? I mean, and then also, there's my PayPal address. I'm going to leave it up for a second in case anyone wants to donate to the channel directly. But it'll disappear in a second, so it won't interrupt your view. We got Bon in the house, too. And, oh, gosh, I just had the guys from Quantify in. I wish I would have talked to you before I had them in. Now, they probably couldn't talk about it. Well, we'll get in the middle of the Quantify guys in a second, Marcus. Yeah, but I've spent an hour and a half with the Quantify guys this afternoon. It's going to be about an hour's worth of content, but David and I spoke a little bit before and after the show. And anyway, yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. YTSM is what it is. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about all that stuff in a second. Let's get the show going. And let me get the darn media. Let me get that off the screen. All right, so you guys can see what's going on. But yeah, I had a really good interview, and so let's do something like this, and then something like this. Okay, so yeah, there it is right there, Quantify Fund. It's already published. It's just private. I'm going to go back and I'll go back and edit it tonight. Let me make sure, remember to monetize it. That's really frustrating when I forget to turn that on. All right, so I'll do that on my own time. Let's look at the market. All right, so, and also I haven't even checked out I made a Bitcoin play on Friday. I haven't even checked it out yet. We'll go look at that when we look at the options. But it is, and the reason I made it is because it was giving the appearance like it failed and broke this. It was, so I'm playing for a failure, and we expected, or I would expect there to be sellers up there the first time back, especially just kind of the same way I'd expect there to be, there might be buyers below the first time there. It depends. So that's how you play an imbalance, or that's the way I look at that imbalance. So I'm thinking my premise is, hey, there's sellers there, and then and also we get a failure and a trend line break. So anyway, but I also played puts on Friday and got cleaned out. So don't do it because I'm doing it, because I'm just like you guys. I mean, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but I still like to do it. All right, SPY. Let's look at SPY. And once again, we're getting back to the situation where one of them's got to be wrong. And I said that for a long time, and we kind of, and Bitcoin being so low has caused the indexes problems, because Bitcoin won't rise with the indexes. But anyway, so now we have a problem where the indexes are getting ready to make a new high. The Dow's already made a new high, and now Bitcoin's looking like it's failing and going the opposite direction. So something's going to happen. Market's going to get sold, or Bitcoin's going to steady and keep going up. I just don't think that can remain this far apart for a long time. Anyway, but I'm glad to see SPY's close to all-time highs. I'm glad to see Qs are as well, and it's awesome that or not as close to SPY is. It's awesome that the Dow is already there. The Dow already being there, kind of tells us we're in a rotational market right now. Evidently, value's coming back into style. You remember on my show, the top 20 show this weekend, DOGG was the dogs of the Dow strategy. Well, that's turned out to be a heck of a strategy. Now, not only is the dogs of the Dow strategy a value focused strategy, the Dow's kind of more of a value focused fund because of the way they construct their index. They use older companies that are more mature. Not that there can't also be mega growth companies in the Dow. I mean, there can be, but generally, I think the Dow trends more towards value than, say, the Qs or than the Russell. Well, not than the Russell, than the Qs, than the Qs for sure, than the Qs, and in some sense even the SPY. So anyway. But yeah, Qs were, you can't really tell in this chart, but Qs were up 3/4 of a point today, and they're up in the post market. Now, okay, so let's talk Divas now, or let's talk gold and silver, then let's go to Divas. I haven't even checked gold and silver. Okay, great. Heck yes. So that means K Gold's in good shape. You guys didn't see that. There was a big gap up, if anyone's just watching, and gold's, it's gapping on a 30-minute chart even. Just gap and go. And that's what we like to see. Well, this is K Gold gapping, but that's beautiful. And then let's see if silver's gapping. And it's not silver, it's the SLV ETF. So, but yes, the SLV ETF left behind a giant bullish gap this morning. And but they also left behind a huge bearish gap the other day. And right now they gapped over the bullish, or they made a bullish gap right into the middle of a bearish gap. So we'll see who wins, the bulls or the bears. If we get a close on this side, probably the bulls have won. We get a close on this side, probably the bears have won, just on a real simplistic way of looking at order flow. Now let me check out my K-Silv. And so I'm in at 28, and it's at 41. So I'm still all right, but that really hurt because I was in at 28 and it was at 58 for a while. Anyway, like I say, I'm right about half the time. If I would have known what was going to happen to silver, I might have done something different. But like they say, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Speaking of broken clocks being right twice a day, we got to retire on dividends here. Now, retire on dividends, he's right maybe 3 times a day because he's like an extra level of smart and experience. He's been doing this a long time. Okay, no, they did say when ISSG was coming out, and they did not say that. Hey, dividend degenerate. And we got William in the house. Okay, so let's get back to this. Now let's go to the Divas. Let's talk about the Divas. Now I'm seeing in the comments, and I didn't even look at my statement today. So the blocks had a weird day. Did it ever get halted or whatever? So let's see here. Let's kind of do this with blocks. That was up 2.6. Why was it down earlier? Why was I seeing it down earlier in the day? Anyway, someone tell me what happened to blocks. Because I've been busy. I've been doing other stuff. I mean, was that all right? Was blocks not down like 4% in our morning report? Anyway, whatever. Maybe it's down 4% and it never opened. Oh my gosh, that was it. I didn't realize that. It maybe just hadn't made an opening print yet. Or no, let's look here. No, it was actually down 4%. Or it was down money. I mean, it dropped from 15.28 to it dropped $1, so it's down 5-6%. Yeah, perfect. All right, so then we rallied in the end of the day once it opened up. Well, heck yes. So blocks rallied where BTC was flat. At least the market cap of BTC was flat, and of course IBIT was up a point though. So all right, so yeah. If IBIT's up a point, blocks ought to be up 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Because I mean, that's the way blocks works. It ought to be. So anyway, that's good though. Great day in blocks. Great day in blocks. All right. So now let's check some of these other ones. Let's check everyone's favorite, ULTY. I know you guys love this one. I'm probably the only one left that still likes this one, or still sees value in it. But in certain markets, it can have value. I mean, it just depends. And lots of ones it doesn't. But it just depends on what's going on. All right. Well, anyway, it was up 1.44 today, which is, the NASDAQ was up 1. I mean, so that's good. Got a little bit of extra on the NASDAQ. Now, this one's not known for catching a lot of upside. But, but it also has partially protected downside exposure. So it's a fund for a different type of environment or for different risk tolerances. Let's check ULTI. Now, I know this was a lot of people's favorite too. Now, I'm just joking. I still know some people that are happy with or that have ULTI and ULTY. All right, maybe not happy with the way it's been performing lately, but okay, this is a great. I mean, the only thing about this one compared to the other divas, it made a new low. When blocks didn't even come close to making a new low. Let's look at that again. Oh, I take that back. Blocks made the same new low. My bad. Of course, blocks do. What was I thinking? And that's even when you factor in just data for dividends. Okay, well, that's where Alti offers value. Alti did come close to making a new low. Now let's see if, well, it came close, but let's see if K-Yield made a new low. But you see the protection kicking in. And K-Yield did make a new low too, even when you factor in dividends. So, yeah, last week was rough, but right before I went to bed, I can't remember who was saying this, but like I said this morning, it's probably just people talk their book. I wonder if the government or bigger forces, in other words, not day traders, people that were building positions, maybe corporations or governments, central banks, whatever, maybe, or not only that, investors, big investors, hedge funds and stuff. When you get a 50% retracement in an asset, I mean, a 50% retracement, I think there's some institutions that would take the bait there, and hopefully that will be supportive. I'm hoping that low holds, but I mean, but I have no idea if that 60,000 low will hold in Bitcoin. But I mean, a halfway retracement is a place where you might at least expect a temporary rally. But so let's look at this. While we're talking about, let's just go look at maybe I'll do it this way instead. Futures. And now let's get a little bit more perspective on this. All right, so let's do this. Does anyone know why you can't get this exactly where you want it? Like it won't go. Well, maybe it's doing it now. No, that's not what I wanted. Where in the heck is Fibonacci retracements? Or I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. I hit the wrong one. Fib retracement. Okay. Yeah, see, it won't let me go right to the. Anyway. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, we actually, I was just saying it was 50% from zero, but from the 2019 move, it was at the 61.8, which is another area that a lot of institutions, if you believe in Fibonacci, that's your buy right there, right? I mean, so yeah, it's a 50% of the total price. But back to my thing, maybe amateur, just people thinking, wow, crypto's at 130, now it's at 65. Maybe, I'm hoping it's supported, just the fact that it fell so low. So, hey, Chad's in the house. Hey, Chad, what are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while here. Now, Andre, what are you asking? Did they say when ISSG was coming in? No, they did not. All right, so what other, we've looked at K-Yield. Now let's look at ISSB. They're also divas. This one was up 59 basis points. So this one is stocks and Bitcoin. So, and as we've already seen, SPY was up 48 basis points, and Bitcoin was up, what, 1%? I looked at it already. Well, it's hard. It depends if you're counting 24 hours or not, but I guess that's it. And Bitcoin was up less than 1%. You add them together, that's about what that fund did. ISSB. Let's check out ISBG. This is the income stack product with Bitcoin and gold. Now, gold had a great day, so Bitcoin was flat. I mean, I'm showing, plus 11 basis points on the Coinbase 24-hour, whatever. So this thing should be up about what gold was up, I would think, if it's performing like it's supposed to. I asked these guys if they had an index or how do you benchmark this, and they say that they're trying to make just how much one's up plus how much the other's up minus commissions, financing, minus the cost of financing the trade. So basically, and that's not too expensive. So basically, if one's up 1 and one's up 1, they're trying to make 2 or 1.98 or something. I mean, that's their benchmark. Anyway, so sure enough, ISBG was up 3.49, but let's see what GLD was up. I know we looked earlier, but I forgot the number. It was up 2.54. The other one was flat. Now, I don't know, but they trade IBIT. They don't trade Coinbase Bitcoin. So let's see what IBIT was changed for the day. Okay, well, IBIT's change for the day was +1. So that makes total sense. These things are performing just like they're designed to perform, which is good. So we haven't done the wonder why we never do the index buffer anymore. I don't even know if let's just go and see if it works. Old index buffer. It's good to look at. Also, we'll look at the diversified divas here in a second, too. And then we'll look at stock tools, and I'll answer any questions. Okay, this is the feed and 5e rule, and it played true today. What does feed and 5e have in it that's going up? I mean, it just because usually that thing's a dog, but let's see. Let's go to FinViz. Is the best way to look at that. Now, they change their allocation all the time. The last time I checked, I just remember they had JP Morgan and some other stuff. But let's see what they have this time. So this time they have Google, Palantir, AMD, Murny, and look at this. See, that's why I don't like this one. It's too slow. It's supposed to be, I mean, I want something that's going to be more reactive. That's why I had to sell this. This is one of the 5 best funds right now on a momentum basis, RDYY. You've got to be kidding me. I could see Murny because the whole idea of how these guys do their strategy is they use technical analysis, pointed figure charting to identify momentum. Momentum trading is where you buy something that's high and sell even higher. It's kind of the opposite of value investing, where you might wait years to get, the pullback, and then, that's kind of more the Buffett style. But the momentum investing and growth investing oftentimes requires just you to hold your nose and just buy something, even though it doesn't make any sense, but just because of the momentum alone. Anyway, so I can see why Murny's in there. I can see why, but I can't see why AMD and Reddit are in there. They're whatever indicator they're using sucks. It doesn't change fast enough. And I can prove it to you, because if and we can just look, what would a passive investment in SPY done over feed? Let's just say the results suck. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, come on, look at this. They're holding on to losers. They're letting losers run and selling winners or something. I mean, that's everyone says yield max sucks. Yeah, feed and 5e suck. They're the best examples of sucking. I mean, they, like I always say, they have some good ones too, but I mean, they have Big E and GPTY, which are the good ones, but feed and 5e are the bad ones all the way at the other end. In my opinion, I wouldn't take feed. I wouldn't buy feed and 5e with Chad's money. And I have some of Chad's money. Chad sent me $50 the other day, or PayPal me. Maybe it was 100 or 20. I forget what it was. It was very generous. I think it was 50, Chad, and I appreciated it. But I didn't take it and buy. I wouldn't take it and buy this fund with it. All right. So yeah, back to the index buffer report. Feed and 5e suck. I mean, why? I don't understand why. I get that the concept is a cool concept, but why don't they need a new sub-advisor? Feed, that because the Dorsey Wright guys are the ones that are picking the stocks. They do a better job picking stocks with Alti. Alti beats feed and 5e. I'm not going to put it up. I guarantee it does. especially on a risk-adjusted basis. So, all right. So let's go back here. What else is moving? Then, of course, we have SLTY down 2.5, Y triple Q down almost a point, which will make sense because the Qs were up. Qs are up 3/4 of a point, so Y triple Q is down. Well, on this one, Y triple Q is down 69 bips. The Qs were up 77 bips, so they caught about all the inverse upside. But then the really good looking ones today were ULTI. Good job, ULTI. K-Yield up 2.3. ULTY, which you've already covered, up 1.4, which is really good for them. Blocks up 2.66, which is really good. Although Blocks is trying to compare themselves to ULTI. I mean, all right, that's what I compare Blocks to ULTI. I don't know if anyone else does. I compare all of them. And ULTI is also very similar to ULTY, but and to K-Yield in some respects. But ULTI is definitely the champion today. Boy, LFGY had a really, LFGY up 3.6. That's really good. What else is going up? Oh, look at this. XOVR is going up. That's the private equity ETF that has SpaceX exposure. That's a good one. USOY, of course. See, that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't Feed and 5E have anything energy related? What kind of, there is supposed to be a momentum, a technical analysis. Well, your technical analysis sucks, Dorsey, right? You guys are, it's pathetic. It's pathetic that you can't even have one energy fund in here. I mean, what are you doing? People always talk about the fund that they lost money on sucks because they lost money. No, this one sucks. I lost money on this one too. So, I don't know. We'll give you a question. What made you, Red wants to know, what made ULTI jump? Let's go back and look at it. When I was looking at the charts, I didn't notice it had jumped that much because these charts, they go down so far, you lose proportion. A move like this big on the chart looks like it's 5% or something. Yeah, it's 9.58%. So I guess let's do it this way. Let's just go. Let's just do this. All right. Critical Metals Corp. It wasn't that. It wasn't CRLM. I mean, that one was up 8.5 today. So yeah, that was part of it, but that's only about 1/10 of their overall portfolio. It's more than that, but I like to think in round numbers. So, this thing's up 9% and it's 1/10 of your portfolio. That alone was worth 90 basis points, which is good. AppLovin was up 13%, and that's 4% of your portfolio. Whatever 4 times 13 is, 54 basis points. So you have 90 basis points from the 154. So now you're at 1.4. So just those two stocks equate for 1.4% of the upside. But this thing was up 9%. Where'd the rest of it come from? Well, Bloom Energy is up 8.49%. Okay, and these guys are totally unencumbered on the way up. Just as the same thing as the way Blocks is, or as unencumbered as you can be. I mean, okay, I hate when that happens. All right, there you go. All right, now look, and they also have Astera Labs up 10.4. Holy cow, they didn't have anything that wasn't up 10% today. Other than, I guess, SanDisk was down 2. And whatever this is. Churchill Capital. Whatever that is. Applied Digital. I bet it has I bet the IV is about $1 million. Is probably why they're in it. But Applied Digital. This one's up 9%. Everything, that's the reason they're up, because every holding they have was up 8 to 15%, pretty much, other than SanDisk, and it was down. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I went through the chart really quick. I'm not as interested in ULTI as I am in some of the other ones, but I know a lot of you guys have that one. Well, but in any event, that's incredible. That's one for the ages. And actually, I should have come back because I knew that was going on whenever we looked at, or actually, that's why we haven't looked at the diversified divas yet, or I probably would have said something. Because on the diversified divas, yesterday's move in blocks was 11.8. Yesterday's move in in LFGY was like 9 something. Yesterday's move in ULTI was 9.5, but it just got blown away by blocks that was up 11. Okay, well then today, ULTI says hold my beer. Now it's up 9.5, and blocks is pulling back a little bit. If you want to go see why ULTI is doing better than blocks, well, one thing because of the crypto exposure, but let's go see specifically what's holding blocks back, or what's making it where it didn't perform as well as the other ones. Maybe it has one bad thing in here that's doing bad. Okay, so okay, Bitcoin was +1. HODL, that's +1. Yeah, Bitcoin's +1. HUT is +7. Taiwan Semiconductor is +2%. Ethereum was +3.5%. IREN was +10%. Riot was +3.6%. Anyway, they just have some funds that aren't as, you know, they don't really have any losers, do they? Well, I mean, they literally everything they had was up today and yesterday, but Friday. Their stuff just isn't up as much because they bounced in NVIDIA, and that brought their average down. It was only up 2.5. You know, and they have some ones that didn't do as well, and then they have Cipher Mining that was up 13.78. Man, that's an impressive company. David got this back in. Blocks came out in July, I think, or June, and I started hearing about Cipher Mining about a month and a half after it came out. They've been in this around this area, and I because I never heard of it, and I put it in Discord. But I think that's one of the best things about these funds. Even if you don't like these funds, let's pay attention to the stocks they're holding in them, because these guys that's what they do. Even if you don't have a need for blocks, you might whenever they get a new stock, you might want to take notice of it. I like to do that. All right, so Max Pi is up. So let's explain to everyone the Max Pi is. So it was, what is it again? I forgot. There's a brokerage account, and you can make your own hedge fund or ETF kind of, right? And you can build your own pie slices, right? Yeah. And I gave an allocation. And I think my allocation was based on the max factor. We did it this summer, I think. So it was, I bet I have crypto stuff on there that's not doing very well, but I also put gold on there. I think we had some gold and silver. So I need to do a follow-up on that. Maybe sometime you need to send me M1 Finance and send me the allocations or whatever. And we can look exactly, because I forget exactly what I did. We just put in the 10 best things that were around. So I put the max factor up, and I was looking at what was doing the best. Some of the funds weren't available. And you said, oh, no, we can't get blocks, or well, I forget which it was, but oh, that one's not available in this program. So we put in some other ones. So, but heck yeah, it's up 4.7%. Stay the course or adjust the percentages. Well, maybe let's talk about that on the night show. Maybe here, I'll give you my email is maxconvexity@gmail.com, and this goes for any of you guys. Email me, but email me that, or if you want to, or whatever. But let's talk about that on a nighttime show when we have, that's on the daytime show. I like to keep it all, not so much focused on my own problems or my own stuff. So, but yeah, on the nighttime show, let's maybe talk about adjusting those or rebalancing them. And it'd be good. That'd be a perfect topic for the daily factor show, because we'll see what's doing well in the daily factor, and we'll probably, and maybe we'll rebalance based on that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's the allocation for people that are wondering. I'm glad I got Chippy, and that was a max factor pick. I don't care about Chippy. When was the last time you ever heard me talk about Chippy? But when Chad asked me, I went through the factor and I saw what was given the best risk-adjusted reward, and guess what else was on that list? iGold. This is all max factor picks right here. IWMI is a perennial max factor pick from Neos. It always is in the top 20. Even when the market goes down, IWMI is one of those ones, or lots of times it does better than you might expect. TLTW for some diversification. T-SPY, T-SPY is a good one, 13%. I forgot about SPTY. What was SPTY 50? Anyway, K triple Q 11, which is oh yeah, K triple Q is a good one. TSLP 5. Yeah, and that was I don't care about Tesla or Curve. When was the last time you ever heard me talk about Tesla or Curve? I mean, it's not in my. You guys know all I ever talk about is what I always talk about. You guys know what I like. But anyway, when Chad asked me to do it, I just went with the daily factor, and I think this is a good case for the daily factor. It used to be they used to be all 11. You adjusted a bit. Oh, okay, no, perfect. Well, no, let's look over that. Let's look over that tonight. Next time we get them, or next time you're on my show. Sometimes I'm on so late, but next time you're there, let's and we'll try to do it tonight because we'll have the daily factor up and we'll have the list and we'll adjust it then. Yeah, STTY. Okay. Well, that's kind of a surprising. I'm kind of surprised I picked that because some of those aren't ones that I would normally. The only one on there that I'm all about is, that I talk about constantly and stuff. Blocks, K triple Q, T Spy. Yeah, those are my IWMI. Those are my wheelhouse. But Chippy and SDTY stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad it's doing well, and I made some really good picks in there. It looks like, or the Max Factor did, because like the ones that are doing well, I remember those were from the Factor. So interesting, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to make some content on that or something sometime. All right. Well, what else do you guys want to look at? So you guys have questions? Anything you want me to look at? Let's see. Somebody texted me. Let's see. I don't want you guys to see it. I think if I do it over here. Okay. Oh, it's just my friends. All right. All right. Okay. So let's talk. Let's shoot the breeze now. I'm done with anything I have. And I'm going to go take Jax for a run. I've been busy all day with that interview and stuff. I've been editing the video, but I'm not going to miss any more jogging days. It's when it's warm. I mean, Jax and I are both getting out of shape, or getting more out of shape, I should say, especially boy, Jackson's kind of really putting it on too. All right. So I'm going to get out of here and go do that after we're done with this, but I wanted to talk about, Marcus, what did you hear? What was this? Marcus said, Max, I just heard a new upcoming ETF from Quantify. It's crazy. I guess I could look in, you probably sent it to me in Discord. I guess I could look there, but my Discord's on a different computer. So, and because it's the troll's fault that my Discord's on. I have it locked down so hard, I can't get it on a new browser. So I'm hoping the trolls won't be able to get into it either. But I'd love to hear what you know about. So if you're still here, put it in the comments. I'm talking. Okay, so what are you talking about? So what was Andre's question here? Let's go. While we're waiting for Marcus to answer. Oh, did they say when ISSG was coming out or YTSM? Is that what you guys were talking about? So, but Marcus is saying, I thought you guys were talking about, did they bring it up on my interview? And Marcus is telling me what happened in my interview, and I haven't published it yet. So now I'm thinking Marcus is psychic. But no, and actually I'm thinking Marcus is wrong because none of that happened in my interview. We didn't talk about any of that. I think it's two different conversations. Yeah, and Chad, I do. I have like 6 factor. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Send me the prospectus later. And you're saying look up here, look above, and you're saying they brought up. Really? Are you talking Quantify? Or which fund family are we talking? Quantify? I have not heard about the Discord changes. Retire. Why don't you give us the Reader's Digest? Put it in the comments. But so you're saying that the Quantify guys are obsessed with crypto. And maybe I had a different guy. And the first time I had Zed Francis, and I think he's the trader. He's the one that's actually doing trades. But I think I may have had on, I had on his co-founder. I think they founded the company together. I think one's more into the business side and one's more into the trading side. From what I can tell, I had the other guy on today. His name's Devin. Great guy. He had a lot of more high level information, whereas Zed was a little bit more hyper focused on stuff. So I think it's really I think it's a good interview. I forgot to plug in my new microphone, and my audio's bad, but at least I remember to take off my blocks hat. The last time I did or I did a review on a fund, and I recorded the whole thing. I forget. I think it was a Quantify. I reviewed ISSB and ISBG, released it. Then I was watching it back, and I was like, oh darn, I probably should have taken off my blocks hat to do a review on those other funds. Anyway. You know me, I like to pull for the home team. I'm sentimental. I like the stuff I like, and I like blocks, and I like Yeild, and I like all the stuff in my portfolio. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll let you guys get out of here. Yeah, Marcus, I'll be looking for that prospectus. I can't wait to see it. But I think I do remember something about some. Because what's YTSM? Hang on, I'm still trying to decode this. Is YTSM is just the Granite shares, Taiwan Semi, correct? Or is that the YTS? Huh. So YTSM maybe is a fund that's coming out. I thought you guys were talking about TSMY. Oh, YTSM is just inverse TSMY, surely, right? Anyway, it's not out yet, but I get it. So inverse. Okay, so now I'm smarter. Look, so it's going to be a defensive strategy. So it's going to be kind of like, or it's going to be a long short because it's going to have some long and some short plus a little Bitcoin. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. Yes, it's the MNAV fund. Okay, no, we didn't talk about that. Now that you say that, I do remember that. No, we didn't talk about that. But but yeah, I appreciate that, Marcus. The MNAV, we'll talk about that sometime. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So Andre says he likes the concept of ISSG, stack stocks and gold, even though you don't like cryptocurrency. I do think blocks is the best tracker of Bitcoin. It seems to be, especially for aggressive investors. There's probably ones out there for people that want, some premium and don't want to capture all the downside of crypto. Then maybe, I'm thinking maybe the Neos one or something might be, but yes, if you're aggressive, want to put on some risk, blocks is a decent way to do that. But the stacked idea, might work for you as well. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for posting that perspective. I was just wondering, yeah, I know all about YTSM. We just didn't talk about today. But boy, it'd be a great time for that on an MNAV fund. Or I'm assuming when they say MNAV, because I know what MNAV is related to MicroStrategies, been a good time to be in MicroStrategies, but I think it's an arbitrage strategy. I think they short Bitcoin or they short strategy and then, they short strategy and then buy Bitcoin. And that's exactly what Mark is saying right there. It's the short, so a long short plus a little Bitcoin. Yeah. No, okay. Well, that is kind of weird because I asked him why not make a 3-fund mix. I'm trying to get him to do stocks, Bitcoin, and VIX. No one's ever interested in doing any type of VIX product. If they can income stack 2 products, why can't they income stack 3 products? Why can't you have 90% exposure to stocks, 90% exposure to Bitcoin, and then 20%? And it still adds up to 200, same concept, and then 20% volatility. You could sell, put spreads on the VXX, and they didn't like it. No, but he explained in the interview. He explained to me why that wouldn't work. So anyway, you have to watch the interview though. And he convinced me. Once he explained it to me that way, yeah, you're right. It won't work. Or there's better ways to do that same type thing. Well, I'm sorry, Andre. I can get. He'll answer what was your question, if you don't mind me asking? No, that's good to know, Marcus. So Marcus is saying it's not just going to be static long short. They pick and choose on when to go long, long one asset. It's an arbitrage though, but from what I remember. Anyway, what was if you tell me your question, because I'm going to email. I have to email David right now. I have to email him for another reason. If it's a basic question, I could say, hey, David's really proactive with customers. So I'll say, hey, a guy from my Discord had been able to get through. He's going to, somebody, probably a secretary is going to get fired. Andre's probably going to be responsible. His secretary is probably crying right now. David's probably watching this show, and it's probably already fired the secretary. Thanks, Andre. Good guess. I'm just joking. But no, he's extremely proactive. I'll get your answer. I'll try to get your answer. Ask them to bring out ISG if you can, not all of. Oh, yes. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. I got you. ISSG. Stocks and gold. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I'll, I won't get the secretary in trouble. I won't mention that you emailed 5 times, but I'll try to. I'll see if that's on the bingo card or whatever. Right. All right. The secretary's bawling her eyes out right now. She has a box with her plant in it and a couple of pictures, and she's walking out the front door. I'm just joking. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. I got to go jogging. I got to burn some of this energy. I got to get Jax to lose some weight and myself too. All right. So we're gonna hit it. We're gonna do about. We're going to do a short route today, so it's just going to be like 2 1/4, but it's our super hilly short route. Basically, in one part it's so hilly it goes straight up, and we have to walk that part, but we're going to jog the rest of it. All right, well, very good, guys. Thank you for sending. I don't know if you sent me an email or sent them an email, but whatever. Oh yeah, Chad. I'm sorry. Chad's going to send me an email. That's right. Andre's going to quantify an email, and I'm going to get Andre's answer about why they didn't answer the email and report back. All right, so let's reconvene about 8 or 9, and we'll do a daily factor. Sorry there wasn't one last night. I was tired after watching the Super Bowl, and I was hanging out with friends and stuff, having a good time. All right, guys, thanks so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon.